Oh man. Okay, y'all, I had to reset. Sorry. Sorry. I had to reset, y'all. What's up, guys? Tap the screen, share it live. Y'all, I'm so upset because some of my main supporters deleted the app when they went on strike or when they did their little thing. I'm like, why did y'all delete the app? Like, so now you can't even get the app back unless the US gets 50% of that. Damn. What's up, y'all? Man, y'all don't understand. It has been a crazy week. This week has been so crazy, man. My emotions all over the place. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. Hey, y'all. What's going on, babies? Hey, Coach Bay. What's up, Ocean? What's going on? I'm gonna talk to y'all for a quick second. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I just had to touch bases with y'all. It's been over a week now. It has been a crazy week, like I said so far. So I'm just, let me tell y'all something. I'm really bothered. I'm really bothered, but we're not gonna talk about it. We just gonna be positive, and we gonna have a thankful Thursday, and we gonna be, keep trucking. Let me tell y'all something. This whole week has been crazy with the TikTok strike and all this other stuff that's going on in the world. Let me tell y'all something. Get yourself right, get yourself together, and start preparing. That's all I'm gonna say. Start preparing, get yourself together, and start paying attention more. Be more observant. God is good. He got it. He do. Yeah, I ain't even gonna sweat it too much. That's why I say I don't even want to get into it, but I'm saying it without saying it. Yeah. I'm saying it without saying it. Y'all know, like, it I ain't gonna lie, I almost had a heart attack when I didn't think TikTok was coming back. And the only reason is because, when you build a community and you build a village on TikTok and you talk to people and you get to know people, some people got to realize it's not just a social media platform. When you build a village outside of what you know or what you're used to, and you start to build friendships and build relationships and stuff with strangers, people that you've never met in person, it kind of impacts your life a little bit. And some people don't realize, like, like, it's it's a bittersweet moment when you feel like you gotta let something go in order for you to, um I don't know. I was all over the place emotionally, because I ain't gonna lie. That whole TikTok ban had me in an uproar. I was really over here in a bunch. Like, my emotions was all over the place. I didn't know how to feel, because I know a lot of people didn't connect with me. A lot of people was asking me what my platforms that I was gonna use, which is gonna be from this point forward. I think I'm gonna go straight directly to Instagram and YouTube. So, if anything happened, y'all hearing it from me right now. Instagram and YouTube is where you gonna come and find me. So I've been uploading more content over there on the YouTube. I mean, yeah, the YouTube and the Instagram side. Get you a podcast. I should, but nobody seems to know, or nobody, because I let me tell you something. I don't want to just jump out there and buy all of this equipment and I end up having stuff that I don't need, or having not having what I need. So when I ask people what I need to start a podcast, nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to know, simply because they don't want to either help, or they don't want me to have a better podcast than them. I have reached out to several people asking them what I need. Hey, love, people have not reached back out to me. They like, you come over here to podcast and you gonna take over, you know what I'm saying, everything. And it's not that I'm trying to take over everything. I'm just trying to connect with my people. That's all. Some people be getting so mad for no reason. Like, let me tell you something. Some folks won't help you because they are scared that you're gonna come and steal their shine. So one thing I had to understand is do your research on your own and do it on your own, and you won't have to worry about nobody trying to hold information back from you or nobody trying to, you know what I'm saying? I have learned that the hard way. I have really learned that some folks don't want to see you win because they know that your winning is going to surpass them and their presence. Like, I be like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it by myself. I'll just do it, you know what I'm saying, myself. What's up, Sue? Thank you. I just do it myself. Don't even worry about it, you know. I'm not tripping. Just like I tell y'all all the time, don't be mad because they didn't invite you. Don't be mad because they don't call and check on you. Don't be mad when they don't text you to see how you doing or see what you need. You gotta learn how to do shit on your own. That's just what it is. I have come to the realization that that's just what it is. I gotta learn how to do stuff on my own. Because some folks not gonna want to see me win, but I gotta want to see myself win first. So if I want to see myself win, then guess what? That means I do the research on my own. I go find the resources on my own. I start to, you know what I'm saying, see what I need, see what I don't need. And once I get everything that I need, you know, that's just going to be the reason I got to leave people behind. That's just what it is. Because when you do it on your own, that just shows you who the realest one on your team. You the realest one on your team. Period. When you got to do stuff by yourself, you will realize that you put in the work by yourself because the person that you're going to have to repay in the end is yourself. So that's why you got to realize, like, you don't get mad because people not helping you. Don't get mad because they not, you know what I'm saying, giving you the resources that you need in order for you to be great. Forget it. Do it by yourself. That's the best revenge anyway. Because when they see you do it by yourself, guess what? They know for a fact you ain't got no choice but to leave them behind. See, that's the greatest revenge that I love. When I do it by myself, I ain't got to worry about folks having their hand like this. I ain't got to worry about having, you know what I'm saying, folks behind my backs, you know, making me feel like I'm obligated to give them something. No, because when I do it on my own, I ain't got to worry about all that. Because every inch and every ounce of hard work and every sweat and every drop of blood that I put into this, I did it on my own. I did it by myself. Some of y'all got to understand that. It's just that simple. When you do things on your own and you become stronger and you start to perfect your craft, that's what it is. You're perfecting your craft for you. You're striving and putting your best foot forward for you. And you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at at this point in my life. I'm there. I've made it there. So I'm no longer bothered by other people and what they think. I'm no longer bothered by the simple fact some folks, you know, just want to have a narrative or have something to talk about. That's why I uploaded a video the other day. I said some people will much rather keep you in a confined space. And that might not even be who you are no more. But some people need something to talk about. And some people want to gossip about it so much or gossip about you so much that they have you in old spaces, in old places that you already have outgrew. I already outgrew all the stuff I went through. Everything that I used to be 5 and 6 years ago, that's not me no more. But some people will try to keep you there and keep you confined because that's what they feel. That's what they want to do. Because they don't have nothing else to talk about. They don't have nothing else to talk about. That's it. Some of y'all got to realize that. That includes your family too. They don't have nothing else to talk about. That's why I be laughing when folks sit around and have a conversation about me. Let me tell y'all something. I knew I was chosen when I had gut-wrenching feelings about people. And every time I seen them or the next time that I seen them, it was something different about them. Have you ever just like had a gut-wrenching feeling and then next time you see somebody, it's kind of like they look different or something about them is different? That's your sign. God is showing you that those aren't your people. One thing I had to understand was I had to be okay with seeing people how God wanted me to see them. It wasn't about me seeing them how they wanted me to see them. I seen them how God wanted me to see them, because now I understand the assignment of what it means to cut people off and leave them where they stand. I had to learn how to leave people where they at. I had to learn how to walk away from people. I had to learn how to get up and be okay with the simple fact that everybody is not my cup of tea. That's it. That's it. No, I'm not a preacher. That's it. Sometimes you have to realize that everybody's not your cup of tea. Everybody is not going to be in a space of understanding you. When you start to grow and you start to become a better you, most of your family aren't going to accept the person that you become. Only because they want you to stay the person that you used to be. You want to know why? Because some of them are scared to do the work themselves. A lot of people in your family are so traumatized, and they have lived in trauma for so long. They're scared to change. So when you start to take the step and change, and you start to break the generational curses and bring in the generational wealth and all of that different type of stuff, a lot of people aren't going to accept you, and you have to be okay with not being accepted. One thing I had to learn was that part right there. It's so many people that get pissed off because I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person I used to be 4 and 5 years ago. I'm not the same person that I used to be 2 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was yesterday. You understand? Because every day that I wake up, I strive to be a better version of who I was yesterday. That's the main goal in 2025. I want to be better than I was yesterday. So that means I got a lot of work to do. That means I got a lot of flaws that I got to identify, and I have a lot of accountability that I have to take. So in that moment, I need to understand that I'm not going to be accepted by people who don't even accept themselves. See, a lot of y'all got to understand it just get that real. Some folks that you want to be accepted by don't even accept themselves for real. Because if they accepted themselves, then they can see you clearly. They can see you for who you are. If they really accepted themselves, they could see the change in you. If they done the work themselves, they can see the change in you. Some folks don't see the change in you because they have not changed themselves. Come on now, talk to me. Some of y'all don't realize that, but that's the truth. When you have done so much work, and I'm talking about healed from your trauma, I'm talking about going to therapy, going to, the places where you're actually taking your isolation serious, and you've done all of this work, you got to be okay with the simple fact that everybody in your life is not going to accept the person that you're becoming, because they cannot even accept themselves. A lot of times that just be the truth. One thing I had to understand was I'm constantly sitting over here trying to get people to see me. I be trying to get people to see me so bad because I got tired of being unseen or overlooked. I got tired of being an underdog. But one thing you got to understand about being an underdog is somehow, some way, the underdog always ends up on top, whether people see you or not. I love being the underdog now because now it's so easy for me to move in silence. And I love moving in silence because now I understand the assignment of what it means to be blessed in silence and let folks see me be praised out loud. That's what I mean. Like, I'm okay with people not seeing everything that I get, but I'm okay with people seeing me after I get it. So what that mean is, in silence, God might bless me, or in private, he might bless me. But just so happen, I might run across people who envy me. And now I got all the blessings that I need without feeling guilty about getting the blessings that I deserve. See, some of y'all got to understand, when you got folks in your life to make you feel guilty because God is blessing you, sometimes people want you to feel guilty because they want you to pass down the blessings that you have already received, because they know they're never going to get it on their own. One thing I had to understand was that I had so many people in my life that made me feel guilty about receiving blessings. And it had nothing to do with me. That was something personal that they was dealing with. It had nothing to do with me. It had something to do with them because they failed to do the work. That's why I tell y'all all the time, they got the same 24 hours as you. If people don't want to change, if people don't want to do the work, that's a them problem. They don't have nothing to do with you, baby. They don't have nothing to do with you. That's a them problem. Sometimes you got to realize that the reason that people don't like you is because they trying to figure out why they can't be you. And when you really understand that people envy comes from the person that you are, or comes because of the person that you are, you will realize that a lot of stuff is out of your control. And I guarantee you will stop trying to control it at that point in time. Because now you understand the importance of what it means to prioritize yourself and not other people's feelings. So now I understand, hey Noble, now I understand what it means to prioritize me and not other people's feelings. Now I don't give a damn about people's feelings. You want to know why? Because it's always been about other people and not me. So as soon as I start prioritizing myself, that's when I figured out that I had more enemies than people that love me. Now I finally figured out that I got a lot of people around me that can't stand me. You want to know why? Because they never wanted me to prioritize myself. They wanted me to prioritize them. So that's why I say you got to pay attention to folks who always stick around when you're always showing them love, right? Sometimes you got to figure out people only stick around when you show them love, but they love to see you not showing yourself love. So sometimes you got to realize those aren't the people that need to be in your circle. Because anytime they love the fact that you're not putting yourself first, that's the problem and that's the issue. When you got grown folks around you that would much rather you choose them over you, that's a problem. That's a problem. A lot of y'all don't like to admit it, but that's the truth. You got folks that you in a relationship with right now want you to choose them over you. That's a problem. That's a problem. It shouldn't be no reason why I gotta choose you over me. It shouldn't be no reason why I gotta prioritize you over me. Because what people don't understand is when you are equally yoked with someone, both of y'all are coming to the table at 100%. A lot of folks don't understand what being equally yoked means. And I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about relationships. You have to be equally yoked in every aspect and every area of your life. That's it. If you're not equally yoked, then it's never going to work. We ain't just talking about relationships. We ain't just talking about family. We talking about friendships too. You got to have equally yoked connections in your life in order for you to make it and actually fully walk in your purpose. You have to have equally yoked connections and relationships in your life to fully walk in your purpose. If you don't, then guess what? It's going to always be a setback. It's going to always be a cycle. When I realized that I wasn't doing nothing but overworking all the time, and I was constantly putting myself in cycles because I was entertaining people that was equally yoked with me and my journey and my purpose, then that made me really wake up and realize that I got to start evaluating people for who they are and not for who I want them to be. See, a lot of us get it twisted. You evaluate people for who you want them to be and not for who they really are, and that's the problem. I need for you to wake up. I need for you to understand that the potential that you see within people, your potential is not the reason why people are attached to you. Do you know how many people will walk away from you if they actually looked at you for your potential? No, people look at you for what you bring to the table. That's it. That's the only reason why people are attached to you. Because they know exactly what you bring to the table. It's not your potential. It's not that they think you can do something or they think you can provide something or they think you can benefit them. No, they know for a fact you can. Some folks see you and they know that you can provide for them and you can benefit them some way, somehow. People don't fall in love with your potential. They don't love you or like to be attached to you because of your potential. They attach themselves to you because of the fact that they already know what you can provide and what you can do. Some of y'all don't understand that, but that's the truth. Folks don't attach themselves to you because if they don't know for a fact. See, and that's what be the problem. People are so busy trying to be in control. They don't understand that they cannot control how much you give, because how much you give is what God is allowing you to give. See, one thing I had to understand was this right here. I don't never allow people to change the way I love or what I bring to the table. I just change the people that I give it to. So sometimes you have to understand your level of loving and your level of giving don't need to change. It's the people that you give it to that need to change. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to really dig deep and understand that part within yourself. It ain't nothing wrong with how you give and how you love. You're just giving it to the wrong people. That's why you feel like you're undervalued. That's why you feel like you're not worth enough. That's why you feel like you're not worthy. Because you need to change your atmosphere and change up the tune. When I realized that part, I realized a lot of stuff about my life had to change, because I was starting to question who I was on the inside. Not only as a woman, but as a human being. Because I was providing love and giving things to people that really didn't deserve it anyway. So now you have to learn how to understand. People don't love you for your potential. People love you for what you give and what they know you can give. When I understood that, I even changed my circle of family. Folks be asking me all the time, who your favorite cousin? I don't got one. I don't have a favorite cousin. I don't, let me tell you something. When I reached a different caliber of my life, I understood that family can get it too. Family can go too. Deuces, I'll holler at you. Because sometimes you got to understand, a title will make you feel obligated to keep people there. No, it's no obligation for me to keep you in my life. I don't care who you are. I don't care about your connection to me. If we're not equally yoked, then I'm going to have to holler at you. I'm going to have to talk to you later. I'm going to have to see you when I see you. But it's not going to be, no, you're attached to my life because you my cousin, or you're attached to my life because you my brother, or you attached to my life because you my sister, or you attached to my life because you my mama or my daddy. No, you got to earn to be here. This is a privilege. Some of y'all don't understand. It's a privilege to be in your life. This ain't nothing that's given. It's a privilege to be here. All the work you didn't put in, you think that people just gonna be able to walk in your life because they were born into a title? No. It's a privilege to be here. That's why I tell y'all all the time, take your life serious. When you do the work, when you over here by yourself crying, trying to figure out what's wrong with you, and you going to therapy and you trying to figure out what's about you or what's going on with you, some of y'all got to understand. When you doing that by yourself, you got to really understand that when you do that by yourself, you have to qualify people, and you have to put people where they belong, not the places they want to be. I categorize people. I put people where they belong. I don't let people tell me where they want to be in my life. No, I tell you where you going to be in my life. Some folks are in the friend zone. Some folks ain't even made it to the friend zone. They just acquaintances. They just a friend of a friend. Like I tell people, I categorize my life all the way down to the T. I don't need nobody telling me what they gonna do. I don't need nobody telling me where they gonna be. No, you gonna have to show me, and then I'm gonna put you where you belong. Sometimes you gotta allow people actions to show you who they are. I be telling folks all the time, your actions speak louder than your words. So whenever you show me the action of where you trying to be, that's when I'm going to categorize you. And that's how I know you can live up to the job, by your action. All that talking is over with. I be trying to tell folks all the time, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear no more talking. We did a lot of talking in 2024. We ain't doing no more talking. 2025 is all about that action. Let me see what you can do. Let me see the action behind everything that you're talking about. I don't got time for folks. Let me tell you something. When you got a zero tolerance And when your fuse start to get this short, that's how you know you changing. Because now you ain't compromising on anything that's non-negotiable. I tell folks all the time, yeah, you can compromise on a lot of stuff, but anything that's non-negotiable, you know what you're going to put up with and you know what you're not going to put up with. So stop trying to always tweak everything for every different person that come into your life because you're scared of being by yourself. One thing I had to understand was my life is not a Rubik's Cube. I'm not about to tweak nothing just to keep nobody here. A lot of y'all got to understand that. Stand on business and stand on boundaries all 2025. You understand? Stand on business and stand on boundaries all 2025. We ain't about to tweak nothing. However you are in this moment and in this season of your life, you got to stand on that and stop always thinking or being in the fear of trying to tweak everything about you because you're scared to lose people. You scared of being by yourself. It ain't nothing wrong with how you operate. It's just the fact that you're operating with the wrong people. When I realized that, I had to understand, like, I got to stand on business now. I can't let people come into my life no more and just want to, you know what I'm saying? And just because I want to fill a void or just because I want to fill a vacancy in my life. No, you got to earn to be here. You got to earn it. Some of y'all got to understand you got to make people earn a spot in your life. All that work you put in should not go in vain. When I realized that, I'm like, all the work I done put in is not going to go in vain because now I understand the importance of what it means to be okay with where I am. I'm okay with where I am. I'm okay with the simple fact that sometimes everybody not going to accept me. And that's okay. Because where I'm going, I'm not going to be lonely. It's only lonely on the journey. That's it. It ain't lonely at the top. Because when you get to the top and you reach where you need to be, God is going to allow people that belong in your life to meet you there. I think I done said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's only lonely on the journey because that's when you got to cut people off and leave folks behind that you was used to. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to understand it's just lonely on the journey because when you by yourself, you're getting to know who you are again. So sometimes you got to leave people behind. But when you finally reach the top of where you belong and you finally reach your final destination, guess what? It's not going to be lonely up there because everybody that has put in the work and did the same thing that you done is going to meet you at that final destination. I tell people all the time, it's not lonely at the top. Not for me. It ain't lonely up here. It's not. Now, when I was walking a journey and I had to, leave some family members behind and leave some friends behind, yeah, it got a little lonely. It was a little lonely. But one thing I had to understand was once I got to where I needed to be, now I understand that it didn't go in vain. That loneliness where I needed that alone time. I needed to be in isolation. I needed to be by myself so I can get to know who I am all over again. Me getting to know me again was the main goal. Me finding out what I had deep down on the inside of me was the main goal. Me actually looking for the things that I was looking for in other people and me finding it within me was the main goal. See, a lot of times you got to understand when you're broken, you look for things in the wrong people. When really and truly you offer it yourself. All you got to do is dig deep to find it. You ain't digging deep enough. Some of y'all that hold on to people that don't love you correctly, or holding on to people that don't do you right, or don't show you what you show them, or reciprocate energy that you give them. Sometimes you got to understand you're keeping them around for nothing. They're holding you up from getting to where you're going. They're holding you up. One thing I had to understand was, you know what? The longer I allow these people to hold me up, the longer I have to put myself in positions to play catch up. Some of y'all playing catch up right now. But you also have to take the ability for allowing these people to stay here this long. Sometimes you got to understand people, don't understand what Stockholm Syndrome is. But a lot of people need to look it up because I think a lot of people are suffering from it and they don't know it. Because you're holding on to people that's holding you hostage. And you're falling in love and falling more in love with being comfortable. So that's why you ain't really walking in your purpose for real. You're allowing yourself to fall in love with things and people that hold you hostage from your purpose. Stockholm syndrome. That's what it's called. When you fall in love with things or a person that holds you hostage. A lot of us suffer from it. And we don't even realize it. Because you're holding on for no reason. When you realize that you're holding on for no reason, let me tell you something. It's going to be like a light bulb moment. Just like that. And it's going to click. And when it finally click, it don't matter what time or what day it is. You're going to see that person. And you're going to be disgusted. When my light bulb turned on, I was disgusted with the person that I was with, in a relationship with. Because my light bulb came on at that moment and I realized that I was being held hostage from my purpose. So when people say, how do you find your purpose? You got to first evaluate who's around you. Because you never know if they're holding you hostage and keeping you from your purpose. See, some of y'all don't like to realize that, but that's the truth. Some of y'all feel like it's too late to walk in your purpose. No, it's not. It's actually right on time. If you actually just look around and evaluate your atmosphere, you'll realize that the only thing that's holding you back is the people that surround you that don't really want to see you win in the first place. So a lot of times when you talk about, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, you have all the ability to do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You can go back to school. You can start that business. You can do whatever you want to do. But it's the people around you that's not giving you the encouragement that you give them, which is why you're not winning the way that you should. If you realize how many people you applaud and how many people applaud you, you will realize that a lot of times those are the people that need to be cut off right then and there. Anytime people don't reciprocate energy that you give, just means they don't want to. Just like I tell folks all the time, whenever you pick up the phone and call somebody or you text somebody and they don't text you back for days later, they send your text message. They just didn't want to reply. I'm going to just go ahead and be real with you. I don't care about folks always talking about, oh, life is busy and people go through stuff. Yeah, people go through stuff, but people also utilize anything that they pay for. So a lot of y'all got to understand, I don't care. If folks want to call and check on you, guess what they going to do? They going to call and check on you. They going to text you and see what you doing and see how you doing. They going to check on you. Sometimes you got to realize you can't be the one that always do the checkups, because if nobody is checking on you, you never know when you're sick. Some of us are over here suffering and we don't even know because don't nobody give us a checkup. You understand what I'm saying? You got to evaluate your circle. When I realized I was over here suffering and nobody was checking on me, but I was the one giving out the checkups. Man, please. Come on now. Who gonna check on you? Who gonna check on you? Who gonna give you a checkup? Because if you're so busy checking on everybody else, you ain't even got time to check on yourself. And you don't have nobody in your circle that's gonna check on you either. So who gonna check on you? Exactly. When I realized that, it broke my heart. It broke my heart, but sometimes you got to break your own heart in order for you to heal. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes you got to break your own heart first in order for you to truly heal. You understand what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't realize that, but that's the truth. In some situations, you got to break your own heart first. Because sometimes if you don't do it, God going to do it for you, and it's going to hurt 10 times worse than it would when you do it on your own. That's just the truth. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to walk away and you know you had to walk away, and then you realize that when you walked away you healed a little bit more because now you walking away with some worth and some dignity about yourself? But when God do it, he lets you get all the way down to the wire and now you feel like you have nothing. I was in those situations before where I was all the way down to the wire and I felt like I had nothing. I felt like everything that I lived for, I was living for no reason because I didn't have nothing to live for. Because I had people that was ripped away from me because I didn't have no choice. When I had got red flags early on of me walking away from them when I should have walked away from them. Some of y'all don't realize, like, when you get your first red flag, unfortunately, that's when it's time for you to walk away. When you get your first red flag, that's when it's time for you to walk away. I know you don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. When you get your first red flag in any situation, that's when it's time for you to walk away and detach. Some of y'all be so scared to detach because you feel like you're going to be missing out on something. But let me tell you something. I'm going to go ahead and bust your bubble. Detaching can sometimes allow you to get more blessings. Let me say that again for the folks in the back because I don't think y'all heard me. Sometimes the detachment will cause you and put you in alignment to get more blessings. You want to know why? Because now you're being obedient. Now you're paying attention to who you are. Now you're paying attention to everything that you need to do, right? So now he can pour more into your life because now since you have mastered detachment, now you're not going to allow nothing or nobody to come in between you and that connection between God and yourself. So now I understand what it means to fully detach. And I have been on top of my blessings ever since. Come on now. Some of y'all don't understand, but that's just the truth. When you learn how to master detaching, you get more blessings that way. Because now you understand that you can't let nothing or nobody come in between what you and God got going on. When I realized that a lot of stuff in my life just had to change. Now I got to detach from a lot of things and a lot of people. Now I got to detach from people and things that don't mean me well. Now I got to detach from that job that was toxic. Now I got to detach from this set of friends that didn't mean me well or didn't allow me to actually grow. When you want more or you want better, you got to do better. When you want better, you got to do better. And you got to be willing to take accountability. You got to be willing to understand. Taking accountability will take you a long way. Identifying who you truly are will take you a long way. Unfortunately, we're all suffering from something. We all have some type of flaws, and that's okay. Stop expecting for everything and everybody to be perfect. You ain't all the way there yet. We not all the way there yet. It's okay. Sometimes you got to give yourself a little grace. Give yourself a little grace sometimes. Sometimes it's okay for you to give yourself that reassurance that you're looking for in other people. Sometimes that reassurance that you're looking for in other people got to come from you. When you realize that, you'll realize that a lot of stuff in your life has only happened because of the simple fact that you've been looking for reassurance in all the wrong places, but also all the wrong people. Because when people walk away from you or you detach from certain people, you ain't got no choice but to give yourself closure. In certain situations, you will never get closure. When you attach to certain people, you will never get closure. You will never get closure because it never was supposed to be a situation where you gain closure. When I look back on some friendships that I've had in my life and some relationships I had in my life, some of those friendships and relationships were supposed to make it past 90 days. I'm going to just be real with you. Sometimes not even 60 or 30 days. But what I had to understand was there was a lesson learned for me. Because when you're in a position of dealing with trauma, you start to feel bad for certain people. And you try to keep them there longer because you see the potential in them. But let me tell you something. They never seen the potential in you. They seen exactly what you brought to the table, which is why they attached themselves to you. What's so crazy is y'all chosen folks and y'all people that give a lot. Ain't nobody ever fell in love with you because of your potential. Ain't nobody ever fell in love with you because of your potential. They fell in love with you because of what you did. Your action. What you brought to the table. Do you know how many people you will still have in your life if they fell in love with you because of your potential? Huh? Do you know how many people will be attached to you if they were attached to the fact that you had potential? People attach themselves to you because of what you bring to the table and what you do. the actions that you give. They attach themselves to the action that you give. So sometimes you got to realize, like, us good-hearted folks got to learn how to be okay with the simple fact that everybody is not going to be in a space where we're able to feel sorry for them. Cause I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never been in a situation where people felt sorry for me. I had to get it out the mud. You understand? So when you got to get it out the mud and you have to start all the way over on your own, and you got to pick up the pieces and put it back together again on your own, you got to learn how to be okay with the simple fact that everybody in your life ain't really seen you go through nothing, because you have not allowed them to see you go through nothing, because you've never been broken a day in your life. They've never seen you broken a day in your life, because everything that you have handled within your four walls. It ain't left within your four walls. I be trying to tell folks, you will never see people broken, because really real godly people, he don't allow them to be broken on display. So that's why I don't look like what I've been through. That's why you will never see me down, because it's never been a time where I've been down in public. You understand? Sometimes people be like, oh, I know you, but your testimony sound a little bit off and a little bit, weird. Somebody told me one day, I think you lying a little bit. Okay. Well, the fact is, you wasn't over here with me when I was going through my spiritual warfare. People can see you and think you all A-okay, and you be battling everything under the sun. But just because you make it look good, folks don't think you go through nothing. And that's what makes me mad with certain people. I'm like, just because you can lay your eyes on people don't mean you know their testimony and their journey. Sometimes all you got to do is just keep your mouth closed. Sometimes all you got to do is just applaud them for making it out. You understand? I be trying to tell people all the time, be quiet. You don't know what these people done went through. You don't know the spiritual warfare they had to go through. You don't know how many battles they had to fight on their own. You wasn't there with them when they were battling certain things. When they were going through their spiritual warfare, you wasn't there. I be trying to tell folks, even your family don't even know you like that. You got some family members that feel like they know you better than you know yourself. That's why I be trying to tell folks, like, stop trying to push this family narrative on everybody. Because even the family that we have, they'll never understand the healed version that you become. They're used to seeing the broken you. They're used to seeing old versions that you have already surpassed already. I be trying to tell folks all the time, it's so sad that some of my family think they know me and they don't know nothing about me. They see me, they've seen me grow up, but they have not seen me go through anything. So a lot of them feel like I have not went through nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Some of your family think they know you like the back of their hand. Oh, no, they haven't went through nothing, and they still mean, and they still, a butthole, and they got attitude problems, and they crazy, and this and then the third. But ain't nobody ever set you down and asked you why you act a certain way or why you react a certain way. Some folks don't want to hear the truth because they have not done the work themselves. One thing I had to understand was some folks want to keep you confined because they have not done the work themselves. I tell folks that all the time. Keep your mouth off my testimony. You don't know what I've done. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I had to go through or deal with. Keep your mouth off my testimony. That's why I don't even go around certain people no more. I be trying to tell folks all the time, like, even my family, I've had to separate myself from some of them because I got so tired of people painting the narrative that I was crazy or I was mean. And not one person sat me down and asked me, why are you this way? What happened? Why are you so angry? The only person that asked me that only one time in my life was my therapist. People that didn't even know me. You want to know why people didn't ask? That was closest to me, because they were scared they were going to be part of the narrative, which is why I was that way, or why I was the way I was. Some folks don't want to be triggered. because some folks know they didn't cause some trauma or cause some pain, and they don't want to be a part of the narrative, and they don't want to be a part of the fact that you're growing now. Nobody wants to talk about what they did wrong to you. Nobody want to ask the question because they don't want to face the reality of it. You understand what I'm saying? So don't ever expect your family to ask you why you act a certain way. Don't ever expect your family to ask you why you so mad and why you so angry. Because according to them, let me tell you something. What kills me with some people, people think you to have this great and grand life. They look on the outside, but they don't really see what's going on the inside. So that's what kills me with people, especially family. You know, they be like, you had this great life. You didn't have any problems or you didn't have any issues. That's a lie. I had a lot of issues. Because what people don't understand is sometimes that emotional trauma is worse than the physical trauma. Going through things emotionally can scar you a lot worse than going through anything physical in your life. People don't take mental health serious. They don't take mental health serious. Let me tell y'all something. People can't see the mental. They can only see the physical. So a lot of folks don't understand that when it's inside of here, it still haunts you. It still triggers you. It still keeps you in that space of thinking something is wrong. Your wounds can easily heal. Your bruises can easily heal on your body. But this right here is hard. I be trying to tell folks all the time. This mental, going through mental and battling mentally, it's hard. So you will never see what I'm going through on the outside. It's the internal that you got to worry about with me. I get so tired of people not asking questions. Because all you got to do is ask the question. But nobody wants to hear the truth. The truth is, half of the people that's going to ask you the question, or half of the people that's attached to you any damn way, are the reason why you are the way you are. That's just the truth. Some folks don't realize that, but that's just the truth. Some people don't realize that they're the reason that you're suffering right now. When I told myself that the other day or a couple months ago, and I said, I can't expect for people to understand me, because you want to know why? When you come from something that is broken, they'll never understand anything that's whole. So when you finally heal and you finally make it over that mountaintop and you finally get to that final destination, you can't expect your family that's broken to understand you when you are in a whole full healed space. They're not going to understand you because they still broken. They come from a broken space. Everything they've done for generations and generations have been broken, and a lot of them are so comfortable with that brokenness, which is why they're losing in life. I be telling folks all the time, the reason that you chosen was because you had to be born, because somebody let it slip through the cracks and they didn't take the job serious. That's just the truth. When you're chosen and you're born and you come out the womb with favor and purpose and all of that over your life, it's because somebody before you, a generation before you, did not take it serious. So now they had to pass it along to you. That's how I like to see life. So when I walk around saying I'm chosen, I know for a fact some people know I'm chosen. That's why some people they go so hard trying to block me from my purpose and my favor. You got some folks who are on an assignment because they let the assignment slip through their hands. See, some of y'all don't like to listen, but that's the truth. Some folks in your family can't stand you because they let the favor and the purpose slip through their hands. They didn't understand the assignment. So now, since it has been passed down to you, they can't stand you. Because they know it's going to be you to fulfill the purpose. It's going to be you to bring in the generational wealth. It's going to be you to be the first millionaire in your family. It's going to be you to have the first diploma and the first college degree. It's going to be you to be the first of everything. That's why people can't stand you. That's why your family cannot stand you. They know. They know. They know. They know already. Why you think they go so hard to distract you? Why you think they go so hard to talk you out of doing certain things that you need to be doing in your life? Why you think they trying to talk you out of moving to a new city where you don't know nobody? Why you think they're trying to stop you from going back to school? Why you think they're trying to stop you from doing a lot of stuff in your life that's going to level you up? Because their assignment is distraction. That's it. You got folks in your life that don't want to see you win so bad. Because the assignment is what? Distraction. They have been assigned to distract you away from your purpose. That's why it's so important for you to understand being chosen ain't for the weak. You can't be easily influenced. You are the influencer. You can't be easily influenced by nobody. And unfortunately, we have allowed way too many people to influence us. And that's including some of our family too. Some folks influence us so bad to not do certain things, and that's why you feel like you so behind right now. Some of y'all feel like you're too old to go back to school. Some of y'all feel like you too old to find a new job. Some of y'all feel like you too old to update their resume. Some of y'all feel like you're too old to start traveling the world. Sometimes some of y'all feel like you're too old and you're too behind. You're not too old and you're not too behind. All you got to do is separate yourself from people who don't want you to believe in yourself. And sometimes you'll realize you got all the time in the world. You got all the time in the world because can't nobody tell you when your clock expires but God. So every day that you wake up, you make every day count. This is why I tell folks all the time, can't nobody tell me how much time I got on my clock. Nobody can tell me that but God. So until then, I'm going to live my best life until he say it's the end or until he say that's enough. Sometimes you got to really wake up and understand the reason that he wake you up every day is because you have a purpose over your life that's way bigger than you. And when you realize that, you'll realize that a lot of stuff in your life cannot be taken for granted, and that's included the time that you have to spend. Can't be taken for granted. Every day I wake up, I'm getting closer and closer to the casket. Yes, that's true. But every day I wake up, I'm going to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to accomplish this today, or I'm going to do this today. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make sure I utilize all of my 24 hours because I don't know when I'm going to get I don't know when I'm going to get another one. So I got to make sure I utilize all my time. I'm going to make the best of every area and every aspect of my life. It's never too late. There's no such thing as it being too late. You got people around you who don't want to see you right now. They don't want to see you win right now. They want to tell you, oh, no, you might as well go ahead and stay on that job. You've been there 20 years. You might as well go ahead and stay and just go ahead and just don't apply for a new job, or don't go back to school and get your degree. It's too late. You almost 50. You almost 60. You almost 40. You almost 30. Don't go do that. It's already too late. Just go ahead and establish your career and just go ahead and retire from there. Nobody's doing that no more. We living our best life and making the best of everything in our life. I'm going to take a chance on everything. That's what we call stepping out on faith. Some of us be so scared to step out on faith because we be scared what people going to say. It don't be the fact that you're living in fear. Some of y'all take risk every day. You don't live in fear. You live in fear of what people are going to say about you. When I realized that a lot of stuff in my life had to change. I take a risk every day. A risk every day. I invest in stocks almost every week, every month. That's taking a risk. I go to work and walk out of my house every day. That's taking a risk. Because who's to say I'm going to make it back home? That's taking a risk. You take a risk every day. So why not do something and take a risk to make yourself happy? Make it make sense. We take risk every day. It's a blessing to be able to turn your key in your door every day, to walk into your house. That's the most underrated blessing that people don't understand. You turning your key in your door and walking in your house is a blessing. Because every day you step outside of your home, you're taking a risk. Every day. So one thing I had to understand is I can't be scared of leveling up in my life. I can't be scared of that. Because now I understand the assignment of what it means to be at a space or be in a space to where I utilize all the time I have left. Do what make you happy in 2025. Everything that happened to you in 2024 and in passing no longer matters. Do what makes you happy in 2025. And I'm talking about I need you to go hard. I want you to go so hard that people in the next 30 days or the next 60 days they're not even going to recognize who you are. I want you to go so hard that people not even going to recognize you in the next 60 to 30 days, 30 to 60 days, 30 to 90 days. Give yourself that time and isolate. Take your isolation serious, because some of us don't take the isolation serious. Let me tell you something. Your isolation is going to be the most important part to your elevation. Let me say that again. Your isolation is going to be the most important part to your elevation. And let me break it down to you and tell you why. Because most of you need to learn how to really isolate. Some of y'all are isolating away from the problems when you need to be isolating with the problems to find the solution to the problems that you have in your life. You're not taking your isolation serious. Some of y'all feel like isolation is you just actually separating yourself from things and people. No, you need to isolate yourself with the problem so you can start solving the problems in your life. A lot of y'all don't understand that, but that's the truth. That's the whole point of isolation, unfortunately. That's why some of y'all be in isolation for so long. When you look around and you've been in isolation for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's cool. But what have you accomplished in those 4 or 5, in those 6 years? Nothing. Because you have not solved the problems. Because every time a problem come up and it triggers you, that means that you were supposed to be isolating with that problem. Because everything that triggered you, that means that you have already went through it. So it's time for you to identify it in your isolation and find a solution for it. That's the reason you're supposed to be isolating. Hello, somebody. That's the reason that you're supposed to be isolating. Isolate with the problem and find a solution. Isolate with the problem and find a solution to the problem. And I guarantee you the next time it come up, it won't trigger you as bad. Matter of fact, it won't trigger you at all, because now that you have found a solution to it, you know how to handle it next time it arises. When I figured out that part, I figured out that a lot of stuff that I was going through was repeated cycles because I did not take my isolation serious. Okay? I didn't take my isolation serious because I was so busy trying to isolate from other people that triggered me instead of me isolating from the problems that they caused me, which is why I was always suffering every time those problems arise. That's why I was always suffering, because I was causing myself to go into overdrive. So every time a problem came up, or every time I had to solve an issue, I couldn't really solve the issue because it all happened at one time. Sometimes you have to understand your isolation is you actually trying to become a problem solver for yourself and not everybody else. Because it's so crazy when you look around, you can solve everybody's problems except for your own. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. If you look around, you can be a problem solver for everybody else, but you can't be a problem solver for yourself. That's a problem. I need for you to wake up and smell the coffee. I need for you to wake up and smell the coffee. You can't be a problem solver for everybody else, and you can't even solve your own problems. Because every time a problem arises in your life, you go straight into isolation. You want to be by yourself. Every time you go through something, you want to be by yourself. You want to cut everybody off and stop calling everybody and deactivate your Facebook and deactivate all your social media because now you want to be by yourself. Solve the problem. And next time it come up, you won't have to worry about running because it will no longer trigger you. I had to learn it the hard way. The reason that I couldn't hear God clearly was because I couldn't understand why I was going through certain things. Because every time something came up, it was so chaotic in my mind, I couldn't really hear him clearly because I was always clouded. My mental was always clouded because I was so busy trying to solve a problem when it arose rather than me solving it as soon as it came up the first time. Some of y'all don't realize it's just like back in the day when your grandma used to tell you, if you clean up as you go, you won't have to worry about it when it's time for everybody to go to bed. If you clean up the kitchen as you go, you won't have to worry about cleaning up the kitchen when everybody go to bed because you would have did it anyway. Come on now. If you clean up your life as you go, you wouldn't have to worry about solving the problems every time they arise. Because if you would have solved it the first time, it wouldn't have triggered you the second time. It wouldn't have triggered you the third time. Because guess what? That means you have identified the problem and now you understand what it means to tackle it when it arises again. So now you already know how to solve it because you've already solved it before. You understand what I'm saying? Every level that you climb, you're going to unlock a new devil. And what that means is it's going to get harder and harder. But guess what? Every time you go through something and every time you're tested, you got to be willing to pass the test. And sometimes you got to understand passing the test only means, and it's only a requirement if you're going to a new level. That's what that means. You got to be willing to pass the test. You got to be willing to pass a test. Hello. Thank you. I see y'all comments. Thank you. You got to be willing to pass the test. Some of y'all over here looking crazy. And it's time for you to get to work. That's the only thing I came on here to say to you today. It's time for you to get to work. That's the only thing I came on here to say to you today. Yeah, I came to rub it in. Yeah, I came to get on you today. Because it's time for you to get to work. Stop forgetting about yourself. And start prioritizing you. And I guarantee you that'll make you feel better about a lot of stuff. Work on what you listen. You come in here and read the room. Let me tell y'all something. One thing about it, if you don't come in and read the room, the message might not be for you today. But the people that get it are the people that get it. Some of y'all got to understand, you got to stop trying to explain yourself every time somebody walk up asking questions. Sometimes if it's for the people that belong there in that moment, you got to stop trying to overly explain yourself to folks that don't get it. Those that get it are those that got it. And sometimes you got to understand, if you're not in a place or in a space, that means sometimes it's not meant for you. Okay? Everybody that was in this room, let me tell you something. I don't have to clarify nothing that I said. You want to know why? Because I made it plain and clear what I said. Some of y'all got to understand, when you got folks that walk up in your life asking you what your potential is or what you bring to the table or who you are, those aren't your people. Because let me tell you something. If they belong there, God had already whispered in their ear that they belong to be in your life. Some of y'all got to understand. If people belong in your life, they're never going to ask you who you are. Because God didn't already told them. If they got a relationship with God, God didn't already told them who you were. I'm no longer in the business trying to explain who I am and what I bring to the table. I'm sorry. I'm just not for you. If I got to overly explain or always hoop and holler trying to get you to see me, then that means you don't belong here. Some of y'all got to understand that's just the truth. If you always got to overly explain or overly play your part, that means they don't belong there. They don't belong in your life. If you got to do all that and you got to go over and beyond to get folks to see you or to be seen or to be heard, they don't belong there. That's period, point blank. I don't got time for that no more. I did that years ago. A couple years ago, I caught myself being in spaces and places and being attached to people where I had to overly explain who I was. I had to beg people to try to see me. I'm no longer doing that no more. Because now I believe that I'm really pressure. Now you got to believe that you're really pressure. When you walk in the room, you demand attention without even speaking a word. That's how you know you pressure. When you walk in the room, what I tell y'all, I wanna be so impactful in 2025 that when I walk in the room, the furniture, the room is tilted and the furniture moved towards me. That's how impactful I want to be. In 2025, that's what you need to be trying. That's what you need to be trying to do. When you walk in the room, you want the room to be tilted, and everything is shifted towards you, without you even speaking. That's how powerful I need for you to be in 2025. Yeah. That's how powerful I need you to be in 2025. I want you to be so impactful that when you walk in rooms, you ain't gonna have to say nothing. You're not gonna have to announce your presence. You're not gonna have to give an elevator pitch. People are already gonna know who you are just by your presence alone. Sometimes you gotta let your glow speak for you. Let me tell you something. I used to think something was wrong with me. Because I used to always feel like something was on my face or something was wrong with me. And I had to really realize that I have a glow on me that's undeniable. You want to know why? Because every time you go through something, your glow gets brighter. Sometimes you got to realize it ain't wounds that's on you. Sometimes it's the glow that's on you that people see. I got confirmation when I walked into a restaurant. I was so broken. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had traveled to Dallas. I was in Dallas, Texas. And I walked into a restaurant with one of my homegirls. She been my friend for over 10 years. And I walked into the restaurant. I was so broken. And me and her was crying at the table. And we had a waitress. And the waitress walked up to my table and she said, "Ma'am, I don't know what it is about you, but you have a glow. And I seen it as soon as you walked in the door." Because let me tell you how God worked. I wasn't even sitting in her section when I first got into the restaurant. I actually walked to another section and I sat down and I was like, I don't want to sit here. I got up. Let me tell you how God uses people. I got up and I walked to the other side of the restaurant and sat in that lady's section. And as soon as I sat down, she said she was so overjoyed because she had a message for me. She said, "I don't know who you are. I just know that it's something about you. And it's something that you have on the inside of you. And it's so big." She said, "I don't know what it is, but it's your glow." And she didn't even know I was so broken. I didn't know what I didn't know what I was living for. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was trying to be in between, different states, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I felt like that was my confirmation. Sometimes you got to realize when God is using other people, it might come from people that you don't even know from a can of paint. You just got to accept it. Some of y'all be so in denial because it doesn't come from people that you know. But unfortunately, it's never going to come from people that you know. It's going to come from people that you don't even know from a can of paint. So just accept it for what it is. Some of y'all get so much confirmation from people that you don't even know, and you don't want to accept it because you got people around you that you've been wanting to see you for so long. Let me tell you something. They'll never see you. They're not even supposed to be attached to you. That's what's so crazy. They'll never see you. Because sometimes you got to understand that some people that's in your life, you got to really understand they're only supposed to see you but not touch you. They're not supposed to have no type of attachment to you. What I tell y'all about the airplane in the sky. You can see an airplane, but you can't touch it. That's how some people are supposed to be in your life. They can see you, but they can't touch you. They can see you, but not be attached to you. Sometimes you got to realize that. You're allowing folks to sit next to you and they don't even belong at your table. You're allowing folks to sit next to you that don't even belong at your table. Sometimes you got to feast by yourself. Sometimes you got to eat by yourself. Sometimes you got to understand that some folks just can't sit next to you. They don't have the capacity to. When I realized that, I realized a lot of stuff in my life had to change, including the people. I need for some of y'all to wake up and smell the coffee. Because in 2025, it's about to get real for you. Not only is it about to get real, but a lot of stuff in your life going to have to change. Including you trying to figure out who you are. You want everything new. You got to start moving brand new. Some of y'all keep on doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same results. That's called insanity. You're driving yourself insane because you want more, but you're not getting more. That's a problem. You got to solve it, and it's time for you to lock in. All right? Some of y'all got to understand that part. The reason that you're not getting more is because you're not allowing yourself to. The reason that you're not getting more is because you're not even allowing yourself to walk into more. Some of y'all scared to unlock new doors. You keep on walking in and out of the same door, expecting for something different to be behind it. No, baby. Sometimes you got to lock the door and throw away the key and go find another door to go into. You understand? Sometimes you got to really understand that. You scared of different doors because you're scared that you're not going to be able to control the narrative. Some of y'all be trying to be in control so much. Come on now. That you would much rather go to something that's familiar because you know you're going to be able to control the narrative because you already know how it's going to end. Sometimes you got to stop trying to be in control of everything and allow yourself to walk into new spaces that's out of your control because that's where the bigger blessings are. Come on now. The bigger blessings are in unfamiliar places. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. The bigger blessings are in unfamiliar places that you're scared to go. It's time for you to go. Hello, somebody. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You've been walking in the same line for years. When are you going to start making some zigzags and go to some new spaces in your life? Sometimes you got to stop walking that same line. It's time for you to go. Yeah. We walking the same exact line expecting for new results. It's time for you to go. When you realize that part, you'll realize that a lot of stuff that goes on in your life is because you have gotten so comfortable where you don't want to change. Because you know that when you change it, it's not going to be a part of your narrative that you can control. See, a lot of y'all don't like to admit that, but that's the truth. You know that some things that you're going to do in your life are going to be outside of your control. And you don't like that because you're scared of failure. Stop being scared to fail. Because the only thing that's going to allow you to fail is when you don't try. When I realized that a lot of stuff in my life, failure is nothing but a mindset thing. You only fail at it when you don't try. Failure don't come when you actually try. You want to know why? Because when you do it the first time and you fall, sometimes you understand the requirements to complete it and actually win. Sometimes you gotta just try it, baby. Sometimes you gotta just try it. You so scared of failure that you have allowed yourself to be triggered every time you think about doing something new. I need for some of y'all to stop doing yourself like that. Because everything that you put your mind to, you can actually accomplish it and you can do it. You just got to really put yourself in the space of knowing that everything you touch turn into gold. I don't care if it's a success or not. You got to be willing to understand that your mindset got to take you to those spaces of success before you get there. So sometimes it's okay for you to not actually master everything that you touch. But one thing you're going to be able to say is, I tried it. It just didn't work for me. It just didn't agree with my purpose. One thing I had to understand was I had to stop taking myself to those spaces of being discouraged. Let me learn y'all something. Saying the word failure allows you to fail. You want to know why? Because when you always think about failure, you always think about the result of not actually accomplishing it. So now I had to change my lingo. So now I don't call it failure. I just call it unaligning with my purpose. It wasn't aligned with my purpose, which is why I did not master it in that moment, or I did not master it in that space in my life. I still won because I tried it. Sometimes you got to understand, you winning is you trying it. But the reason that you're not winning is because you're allowing yourself to live in a space of failure. And that's what's keeping you in a mental prison. Y'all not listening. Y'all not listening to me. Sometimes you have to understand that part. When you think negative things are attached to you. So sometimes you have to realize that sometimes your lingo has to change. Because in order for you to truly win, you got to be willing to even speak positive, even in moments where you feel like you have not accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish. Come on now. Come on now. It just wasn't aligned with your purpose, which is why you did not master it, and that's okay. That's okay. But you didn't fail at it, because failing only comes when you don't try. You didn't fail at it. You just didn't master it, and that's okay. Sometimes you got to realize everything that you master is everything that's attached to your purpose. Everything that you master is attached to your purpose. Sometimes you got to really realize that, like, you got to be the prime example. Sometimes you got to be the one that set the examples in your life. One thing I had to understand was the only reason why a lot of people have not really prioritized me in my past is because I did not set the tone and I did not set the example. I didn't show them what it means to love me because I didn't love myself. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't show them what it means to actually put me in a space of prioritizing me because I never prioritized myself. Sometimes you got to lead by example in every area of your life. Sometimes you got to show people how to treat you. Sometimes you got to put yourself in places where people see you doing everything that you expect from other people. So can't nobody say you got high expectations because everything that you require, you provided for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So some of y'all got to understand that you ain't got high expectations because everything that you expect from a person, you can give it to yourself times 10. I be telling folks that all the time. I don't have high expectations. The people that come in my room, it ain't no such thing as you having high expectations. Because everything that you require from other people, you can give it back to yourself. That's what I talk about when I say leading by example. You are the example of how people should treat you. I don't have high expectations. It ain't no such thing. So when people talk about those type of things, it's because some people are looking for reasons to walk away from you. Some folks will much rather put you in a space of trying to clarify you as being so difficult. But really and truly, what you have to understand is those aren't your people. When people make it seem like you're so complex, it's because they're trying to find every excuse to not be in your life. So why are you allowing these people to continue to put you in a space where you start to question yourself? Sometimes you got to realize some folks want you to stay in a narrative that they have painted for you when you really supposed to be painting your own narrative. Come on now. People want you to stay in this little box that they have made for you because they know that it's safer there for you because they know they'll be able to control you. They'll be able to, discourage you whenever they get ready. When people put you in the box is because you allow them to keep you there. The reason that you don't really understand who you are is because you have not thought outside the box, and you have not stepped outside the box of what other people's opinion are about you. So a lot of times you got to understand, like, that's just real talk. That's the most simplest way I can give it to you. The reason that you have not done certain things is because you don't want to hear certain people's mouth. That's the reason why you have not tried to do a lot of stuff in your life, because you're scared of what everybody else is going to say. Screw them people. We don't care about what they're going to say. They're going to talk regardless. They're going to talk about you regardless. They've been talking about you all your life. That's because you're chosen. When they talk about you, that's how you know you're doing something right. But I need you to keep going even when they're talking. Some of us get so discouraged and we just automatically stop because we don't want to be in the midst of negativity. But let me tell you something. The only time you put yourself in negativity is when you entertain it and when you always attach yourself to it. One thing I had to understand, when my family didn't want to see me win, I had to stop going around those certain family members. I don't care who it was. Y'all don't want to see me win because y'all never wanted me to be in a space to where I truly believe that I am who I say I am, or I am who God says I am. Sometimes y'all got to understand that. Some folks don't want to see you win only because they already know that they're going to get left behind. They already know that you're going to leave them behind. They already know that you're going to detach from them as soon as you get to a place of understanding what your purpose is. Some folks want you to stay confined in that space because they don't know no better themselves. You got some people in your life that's scared to walk in their purpose, so they're trying to get you to fear yours. Come on now. Some folks so scared to look in the mirror at themselves. That's the reason why they're not winning in life. Because they're scared to look at themselves in the mirror and actually identify what's wrong with them, rather than pointing the finger at everybody else. Sometimes you got people in your life that will much rather you question who you are because they question who they are every day. Y'all want to know what's so crazy? It's sometimes the problems in your life don't come from you. It comes from the people that you're attached to. Some people in your life is suffering from trauma and karma right now. And the reason why I feel like you're suffering is because your attachment to them. You never really realize that, but that's the truth. Your attachment to people that don't belong in your life will cause you to suffer as well. It'll cause you to feel like you're being left behind as well. So a lot of times it don't be the problem that's in your life. It be the problems that's in everybody else's life. And the simple fact that you're empathic is what's keeping you in a space of being discouraged. Now you're in a space of questioning who you are, when really and truly, you already know who you are. You're just trying to water yourself down to keep these other people in your life comfortable. Yeah. When you realize that, that's when the level up starts. That's when the elevation starts. Because as soon as you start to elevate, you start to understand that some folks only want you to be so close to where they have the access to you, because they'll be able to control the narrative over your life. Sometimes you got to understand, you got to stop allowing folks to control the narrative of your life, because you're the only author of this book. Only you. Nobody else. This is your book. You write it. You create the characters. You end the chapters. You understand what I'm saying? I need for some of y'all to take back control of your book and your narrative. Sometimes you got to understand that you got to start being in spaces where you control everything in your life, including the people, including the characters, and including the roles. When I realized that a lot of stuff in my life had to change. I don't care about none of that. Let me tell you something. I told y'all that song, TV Off by Kendrick Lamar, when he said, I even had to cut my granny off because she didn't understand. That's deep. When you got to cut your granny off because she don't even understand the purposes of your life, baby, that's deep. If you ain't heard that song, I don't care if you listen to rap or hip hop or not. That song, when Kendrick Lamar dropped that line and he said, I even had to cut my granny off because she don't understand it. Ooh. Sometimes you got to stop allowing people to feel obligated. Sometimes you got to stop feeling obligated. That man said, I even had to cut my granny off because she ain't understand it. Some folks not going to understand your chosenness this over your life. So you got to stop trying to make them understand. Some of you over here draining yourself because you're over here trying to allow people to put you in spaces that you don't even belong in. Because you want people to see you so bad. People already see you before you even, matter of fact, they already feel you before you even get there. I told y'all about the story when I had showed up and everybody was like, oh, we thought you was outside already. We thought you were already here. I was at home getting dressed. But the fact that you felt my presence here lets me know how powerful I was. Sometimes you got to understand when people make certain comments, you got to start analyzing what people say. We thought you was already outside. How you think I was already outside when I was at home getting dressed? But that's how I know my presence was felt before I even got there. That's how powerful you are. Your presence is felt before you even get there. Some of y'all got to understand. You got to start understanding who you are. You got to start being okay with where you are. Focus. Focus. I need you to focus. And I need you to lock back in with who you are. I need you to lock back in with who you are becoming. That's the only thing that matters right now. Don't nothing else matter but that part right there. I need for you to lock back in. I'm giving each and every one of y'all on this live an assignment. What I want you to do is, I want you to write down everything that you want in your life. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about material things. I want you to write down everything that you want in your life in every place that you want to improve in. Sometimes it might be your attitude. It might be your happiness. It might be your peace. It might be your focus. It might be your whatever. Write it down. And I want you to give yourself 30 days to accomplish that goal. Now, when you give yourself 30 days, I want you to understand that you got to go into full isolation. And I'm talking about full isolation. I'm talking about you gotta really isolate. Sometimes you got to understand that when we go into isolation, we be trying to solve the problems, not trying to isolate from the problem. See, in order for you to solve the problem, you got to isolate with the problem and not away from the problem. Okay? Because the next time it arises, I don't want it to trigger you again. I don't want you to be in a space where you start to question yourself again, because the next time that it arises, it's not going to trigger you, because now that you have solved the problem and found the solution to the problem, now you understand what it means to be in spaces where you're actually healed. Okay? That's it. Heal yourself and understand your isolation is supposed to be serious. Heal and know that everything in your life has only happened because you have not isolated correctly. That's it. When you understand that, you will understand that a lot of stuff about your life has only happened to you because you have not isolated with none of the problems that has been in your life, even the things that people have done to you. Isolate with the triggers. Okay? Isolate with the triggers, and isolate with the fact of understanding that you got to be willing to solve everything that haunts you and everything that caused you pain and trauma. All right? Time to solve. Let's go. We got work to do. So listen, I say all of that to say this, okay? If don't nobody love you, you got to be willing to love yourself. If don't nobody love you, if don't nobody else believe in you, you got to be willing to do it yourself. But the triggers hurt. Let me tell you why it hurt. Because you have not identified them. You have been running away from them. Sometimes when you run away from triggers, every time they arise again, it's going to hurt 10 times harder than it did before. So a lot of folks don't understand that the reason that you're still triggered and the reason that it still hurts is because you're not isolating with the trigger to solve the trigger. You're actually isolating away from the trigger, which is causing you to actually not really solve the problem. Some of y'all got to understand that that's the only reason why things haunt you in your adulthood. If you're still an adult suffering from your childhood trauma, it's because you're still triggered from the trauma and you have not isolated to try to find a solution. Sometimes you got to realize half of the stuff you've gone through is not your fault. It's only your fault when you still hold on to it. So when you're holding on to your trauma and you're not letting it go and you're not actually allowing yourself to solve it and actually understand that walking away without a trigger can be, without the closure is the best thing that you can ever do in your life, you will understand that a lot of stuff in your life don't need closure. It just needed you to close the door on it. Okay? A lot of things in your life don't require closure. We just be so busy trying to control everything. We feel like every situation deserves closure and it doesn't. The best thing that you can ever do in your life is to actually close the door on the issue and the problem and go ahead and start getting to work to solve it. Sometimes solving it on your own is the best thing you can ever do anyway. That's the truth. I'm going to be honest with you. When I realized that some folks wasn't going to come back and give me closure, I had to start the process on my own. Sometimes you got to realize that I'm being for real. When you realize that you done left this door cracked for years, expecting people to come back and give you closure from the hurt they have caused you, you got to finally realize that you got to close the door, lock it, and throw away the key because the closure is never going to come. That's real talk. I'm just being for real with you. It's never going to come. Sometimes you got to understand that part. You done left this door cracked for how many years expecting people to come in and give you closure that they're never going to give you. So sometimes you got to start the process of healing on your own. You can't expect to heal every time something harms you. And every time you're expecting closure, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Sometimes you got to realize the process got to start when you started. You got to be willing to start the process. You understand? Some of y'all got to understand that like it just gets so real because some of us be so triggered and we're not even allowing ourselves to understand that if I'm sitting around waiting on this person to bring me closure, the more I'm sitting around rotting and allowing myself to really be in these spaces of being triggered every time the thought of them comes up or every time something arises, comes up, and I'm not even allowing myself to live 100% in my full potential because I'm so busy trying to still help them find theirs. See, what you got to understand with triggers is that every time you're triggered by something that someone does to you, the only reason that you're triggered is because of the thought of the potential that they had in your life. Because you have allowed them to live here rent free. That's why you're always triggered by them and everything that reminds you of them. When I realized that I was still helping other people that was detached from me to live in their purpose because they still lived here, I had to change the narrative in my mind. I had to fix everything that was here. Like some of y'all don't understand, but that's the truth. You still allowing people's potential to live here when they've been detached from you for years. Let it go. Let it go and set yourself free. Let it go and set yourself free. And you will understand that it will no longer trigger you if you finally close the door yourself. Mindset. It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing, baby. It's a mindset thing. How many times or how long are you going to keep that door cracked? Just answer me that question. I want each and every one of y'all to answer me that question. If you're still suffering from triggers, how long are you going to keep that door cracked? Because the only reason that it's triggering you is because you have allowed that door to stay cracked because you're expecting closure from that situation that you're never going to get. How long? How long? Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes, but I'm just asking you how long you gonna keep that door cracked. Because you're never gonna get that closure that you want. I'm sorry. Sorry to break it to you. I love you. And the only way I can get it to you is if I say it like that, and my delivery might be a little harsh, but I need for you to understand. I need for you to get it together, and I need for you to walk in your purpose in 2025. And it's time for you to close those doors and start your healing process, because you're never going to get the closure that you're looking for. That's it. That's it. I love you. I'm only gonna tell you the truth. You know, I don't want you to think that you coming across a stranger that don't know you from a can of paint and I'm just talking to you crazy. No. Let me tell you something. I feel every person that come in my room. So the reason that I deliver certain things is because sometimes you gotta understand that when God is using you in certain areas, you're gonna deliver a message the way that people need to hear it. Sometimes people gotta understand that. When you actually a vessel and you actually walk in the purpose of your life, you're going to deliver things however God tells you to deliver them. Okay. So, some folks be like, oh, you so mean. No, I'm not mean. I just have to give it to you how you need it. Because we have so many people in our life that sugarcoats things. We don't even realize that those people that are sugarcoating things with us aren't really being real with us. You want to know why? Because they know if they keep it real with us and we finally wake up, come on now, then they're no longer going to have the attachment to us, because they're not even going to be a part of the narrative of our life. Some folks, it's not going to keep it real with you. I was telling one of my exes, I said, you know what's so crazy? Is that folks in your life only coddle you because of what you do for them. And he was like, what you mean? He got so offended. He was like, what you mean? I said, your mother only condones your behavior because of how much you do for her every month. Every month you turn around, he's sending her money and being there for her financially. So she's never going to tell him the truth. You want to know why? Because she doesn't want to be on his bad side. Because she doesn't want him to stop doing anything that benefits her. Some folks coddle you because of what you do for them. A lot of folks are scared to tell you the truth. That's real talk. You got so many folks that will much rather sugarcoat stuff with you because of what you bring to the table for them. So some of us don't have people in our life that keep it real with us. You got to come across a stranger that you don't even know on TikTok. You got to come across people that you don't even know in Walmart or wherever you be. And people will read you like a $5 bill because of the simple fact that you have not had those encounters with people in your life. And when you finally hear it, it's like a light bulb that go off, ain't it? Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about because you know what I mean. When you hear stuff that you need to hear, it's like a light bulb that go off. You have so many people in your life that's coddling you and your feelings because of what you bring to the table for them. Some folks not going to be truthful with you. Some folks not going to tell you the truth. You want to know why they not going to tell you the truth? Because you benefit them too much. Come on. I'll wait. You want to know why they're not going to tell you the truth? Because you benefit them too much. Some of y'all are so beneficial to people in their life. They're not going to tell you the truth because they'll never want to be on your bad side. Some folks don't want to fall out with you because you have benefited them so much. They're not going to keep it real with you. I got my cap from Shein. It says faith. They're not going to keep it real with you. Let me tell you something. This area in my life, I need folks to keep it real with me. I need folks to be 100 with me. I need for you to tell me the truth. I don't want you to tell me nothing that I want to hear. I want people in my life in 2025 that's going to keep it real with me. Because where I'm going is only a place of realness and not fairy tale. I've been living in the fairy tale for way too long. I'm done living in fairy tale. I'm living in the reality of things now. I don't want to live in the fairy tale no more. I'm ready to live in the reality of whatever God got for me. And how I do that is I surround myself with people that's going to keep it real with me. I don't want people around me that's only going to tell me what I want to hear. I don't want people around me that's going to sugarcoat it and not really give me what I need. You feel what I'm saying? Come on now. All those days over with. Surround yourself with people that's going to keep it real with you. Surround yourself with people that's not going to sugarcoat stuff with you. Surround yourself with people and homeboys and homegirls that's going to keep it real with you and not actually see you for benefits. But they see you as a true friend, or they see you as a true value in their life. And they actually want to see you win. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want people around me that want to see me as far as, I don't want to see me. I don't want people to just see me as a benefit. I want people to see me in a space where they actually want to see me actually win. I don't want to be around folks who actually want to just benefit from me and they keep me in a space because they have the access to me. No. I don't want that. Sorry, not sorry. It's time. I don't know who needed to hear this message today, but it's time. When I tell y'all I'm on fire on the inside, because I feel like some of y'all in here done woke up. Some of y'all in here done got a message and your light bulb done went off. And I want you to understand that it's time. All right? It's time. It's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to go up. It's time for you to start that business. It's time for you to go back to school. It's time for you to get that new job. It's time for you to get that new car. It's time for you to get that new house, that new townhouse, whatever it is that you want to do. It's time. It's time. But you got to leave some stuff behind and make you comfortable. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's time. I tell folks all the time, I feel when something is about to get ready to shift in my life because my mind starts to shift. My mindset starts to change. If you understand when you're about to get ready to level up, your mindset starts to shift and be different. Everything that you used to like and everything that you used to do, you no longer like it no more. You no longer entertain gossip and all that stuff no more because you ain't got time because your mindset is different now. That's how you know when you elevating. Somebody asked me the other day, Kira, how you know when you elevating? When your mindset change? When your mindset start to shift, that's when your life starts to shift. That's when your life starts to elevate, because now that you're thinking differently, now you can actually go where you need to be physically because your mind has already reached that place that you belong. Some of y'all don't like to believe it, but that's the truth. When you start to not have the desire for the things that you used to desire, that's how you know you're changing, because a change is coming and you're about to be shifted somewhere so far and shifted so high that the people that used to have access to you is no longer going to have access to you because they're no longer on your level. Sometimes you have to understand. I be trying to tell folks all the time. When folks stop talking to me or I stop talking to people, I don't automatically think that it's beef. You want to know why? I don't automatically think it's a problem. Sometimes you got to understand some people just shift differently. Some folks go below a level where you are, and sometimes you go way above the level that they're on. And sometimes y'all just no longer align with each other. I be trying to tell folks all the time, when I stop talking to people, I need for people to stop thinking that it's beef. Some folks want to create beef. You want to know why? Because they still want that attachment to you. Some folks get so mad when you stop calling them, or when you delete them on Facebook, or when you delete them or unfollow them on TikTok and Instagram. Some folks be trying to create beef because some people want to control the narrative of them being in your life. Absolutely not. When I walk away from you, that's just me walking away from you and me choosing me. I'm not going to feel sorry in 2025 for choosing me over you. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Some of y'all got to stop feeling bad for choosing yourself over anybody in your life, because now it's time to make yourself a priority. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Stop being in a space where you feel bad for choosing you. Yeah. I don't know who need to hear this, but those days of feeling bad for choosing you are over with. Those days of choosing other people over you are over with. I don't know who need to hear this. I don't know who need to hear this. But those days are over with. We no longer putting ourselves in spaces and places where people don't see us. You listen, in this season, you ain't got no choice but to see me. Because my glow going to be so big, it's going to blind you. You're going to need 2 pairs of sunglasses. You understand? Some of y'all got to walk around with the confidence of knowing. Your glow is about to be so big, they going to need 2 pairs of sunglasses when you walk in the room. Come on now. I told folks next year, this Christmas in 2025, I'm giving people sunglasses because they going to need them. Because this season of my life, I'm about to glow up and it's about to be so big. I'm about to be so bright that I'm going to blind a couple folks. And at that point, listen, it's not going to be my fault. Because the work that I'm about to get ready to do on myself, people are not even going to recognize me. Sometimes you got to really tell yourself, people are not even going to recognize me by the end of 2025 because I'm about to be a whole different person. I'm about to be in a whole different tax bracket. I'm about to be in a whole different space and a place in my life. I'm about to be a whole different person. And everything is going to be for my good. It ain't going to be for the benefit of nobody else but me. Sometimes you got to understand that part right there. Everything that you're about to get ready to accomplish, is it going to be for your benefit and not everybody else? Yeah. Yeah, so this year for Christmas, everybody getting sunglasses. Everybody. Because they going to need them. They going to need them. They sure is. Yep. It's time for you to walk in your confidence too. I don't know who need to hear this. But it's time for you to walk in your confidence too. Some of y'all be walking around and act like you're not a big deal. You are a big deal. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care if you feel like you ain't got nothing or you feel like you don't have what you desire and you don't have what's on your vision board, but you're a big deal. You are. All right? I need for you to actually walk around like you're a big deal because there's something about you that people can't buy. People can't go to the stores and pick up what you require or pick up what you have on the inside of you off the shelf. You a big deal. I'm talking about big pressure too. So I need for you to start walking around like you know that. All right? Some of y'all be walking around like you don't know you act like you don't know. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all this too. Being humble don't mean you water yourself down. Sometimes you got to understand. We use humble so wrong. Because humble ain't even supposed to be in our vocabulary. If you look up the definition of humble, you'll be like, why do I always say I'm humble? No, you're pure. Everything about you is pure because you come from the source. So that means when you really chosen, you're pure. You're not even supposed to have humble in your vocabulary. Ain't nothing humble about you. Everything about you is pure. And I need for some of y'all to go look up that definition of what humble means. Because some of y'all don't understand. You use humble wrong. When people classify you, they should say that's a humble individual, right? But when you classify yourself, you're supposed to say I'm a pure individual because I come from the pureness and the source of God. Everything about me is pure. That means that nothing about me is fake. Nothing about me is phony. I'm not a humble person. I'm a pure person. So when people see me, they're going to see the pureness of who I am. So a lot of y'all got to start understanding that everything that's on the inside of you and everything that you carry can't be bought because it's pure. It comes from a pure place. You got some folks trying to figure out why or can't put their finger on what it is about you that you always somehow stay on top or always win some way, somehow. No matter how broken you may seem and how broken you are. That's pureness. Everything about you is pure. So I need for some of y'all to start walking like you know who you are. Some of y'all be trying to water yourself down because you don't want to feel, you don't want to feel like the outcast. You've been the outcast your whole life. People gonna talk about you either way it goes. So let them talk about your wins. Sometimes people got to understand people going to talk about you anyway. They going to say what they want to say. Let them talk. But it ain't nothing they can do to stop your favor because your favor was already over your life before you were even born. I try to tell y'all that all the time. Stop always trying to water your favor down. Stop always trying to put yourself in a space of feeling like you not a big deal. You just this small. I ain't all that. It ain't. Yes, it is. You are all that in a bag of chips. You are a big deal. Yes, you are. I'm just trying to be humble. No, you're not. You're trying to water yourself down because you don't want nobody to say you cocky or you know what I'm saying? Forget all that. Nobody cares about that no more. They're going to talk about you anyway. They're going to talk about you anyway. So why not just be 100% you? Come on now. When I realize it, I'm like, why am I stopping myself from being who I need to be and actually walking in my favor? You think I care now that when people see me on live and they always talk about, oh, she's always preaching. You think I care? Keep scrolling. I don't be caring. People talk about me all the time. Well, she's always preaching. I'm always preaching. You want to know why? Because that's my purpose. I'm no longer watering down my purpose to satisfy nobody in their opinion about me. It is what it is. You can call it preaching. Some people call it motivating. It's a difference. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can say, oh, she didn't chose God. You want to know why I chose God? Because God chose me when I was at my lowest. All of a sudden, she's all about God. Yeah, all of a sudden, it's not all of a sudden. I just wasn't doing the work that I was supposed to do. So now that I'm closer to God, nobody can tell me nothing. So when people be like, all of a sudden you want to choose God and you want to be so godly. No, it's not all of a sudden. You just discovered God for who he really was in your life and you made him a bigger priority. That's what folks don't realize. See, when I was at my lowest and I didn't have nothing or nobody, I had to call on God. I had to call on Jesus because that was the only person that was there for me. Nobody came to my beck and call when I was down and when I was broken and when I needed folks to be there for me. Nobody came for me. Even when I sent for them, the only person that came was Jesus Christ. So can't nobody tell me that all of a sudden you just trying to be more godly. No, I'm not trying to be nothing. I am that. So when people see me on live and when they scroll past me with their nose sneered up in the air, you think I care? I don't be caring about what people talk about because now my purpose is, I know what my purpose is. Your purpose is bigger than who you are. And when you realize that, you're not going to be able to stop for nobody. Sometimes the purpose that's over your life might be bigger than you in this moment. And that's okay. But when you actually walk in that purpose, it ain't nothing nobody can do or say to stop you from getting to where you're trying to go. When I realized that, I realized that a lot of stuff in my life had to change. I had to stop being ashamed of my gift. My gift is motivating. My purpose is motivating. I was running away from it for so long because I didn't want people to talk about me. Or I didn't want to attract this, I wanted to keep attracting certain men in my life, or I wanted to keep attracting certain friends in my life. And after a while, I'm like, you know what? It's harder for me not to be who I need to be rather than me trying to be different versions to satisfy different people in my life. When I realized I was creating different versions of myself to keep people in my life, that's how I knew I was doing too much. Some of y'all create different versions of yourself to keep people around that don't belong in your life in the first place. When you realize that you got different versions of yourself running around this earth because you're so busy trying to be a people pleaser, you'll realize that that's too much work. When you just focus on perfecting that one version that you need to be, you'll realize that that's the easiest thing in the world is just to be yourself. When you're not yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. When you're not yourself, that's when it becomes an issue. Stop always trying to create yourself to be a person and satisfy every person in your life, because what you don't realize, you create a different version of who you are every time you try to satisfy different people in your life. And when you look up, now you got 20 versions of you that you got to keep up with. And when you realize that's a full-time job, when you realize that keeping up with 20 versions of who you are is a full-time job, you'll break it all the way down to one. And you'll realize that one is enough. Anybody that don't accept that one version of who you are don't belong in your life. So now I let people talk. I let people say whatever they gonna say. I let people say, oh, are you always preaching? I let them do all of that. Because this one version of me is easy to maintain. It was hard for me to try to maintain all those different versions of me. Now I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to figure out what's wrong with me because I'm not accepted. So now I'm trying to perfect all these different versions when really I needed to perfect that one. It was that one that mattered the most. It was that one that I needed to really focus on the most. Some of y'all got to realize that. That's just the truth. It's that one that you need to be worried about. That's it. And when you realize that, a lot of stuff in your life will change. That's it. That one version is all that matters. Because that one version that you focus on, that version is what's going to allow you to walk in your purpose fully. And when you do that, everything in your life going to change. Let me take my thumbnail, y'all. Y'all, I'm uploading my lives on YouTube, so y'all gonna have to go over to my YouTube to subscribe. I need everybody to go to my YouTube to subscribe. So if you're looking for my content is going to be on YouTube. I need everybody to go over there because I'm going to start going live over there once I hit 1,500 followers and subscribers on YouTube. So once I hit that, we gonna be, because I don't know how long TikTok is going to be here. So we need to go to another platform to make sure we stay connected with each other. So everybody go to my YouTube. My YouTube is the same thing that it is on TikTok. Okay. So y'all make sure y'all go over there so we can start going live on YouTube so we can have a more certain way of staying connected with each other. Okay. Because I don't know how they might take TikTok tonight. I don't know. The way TikTok been going, we don't know how long it's going to last. So I need for y'all to go on over there to YouTube and subscribe, because as soon as we hit 1,500 subscribers over there YouTube, we gonna go live over there and we gonna get it cracking over there. I don't even want to be on TikTok no more. I'm just be honest with you. I don't even want to do it no more because it's too unpredictable for me. I want to be able to connect to y'all and love on y'all the way I'm loving on y'all, and I need to be able to do that anytime, any day. Okay, because that band kind of scared me. I ain't gonna lie. It scared me. I was like, I can't talk to my people. I can't go live. I can't post my content. Oh, y'all, when I say I lost it for 24 hours, I was like, hold up, wait a minute now. Then you wait a minute. So all my lives are going to be uploaded to YouTube, and we're going to start to go live on YouTube once I hit that 1,500 mark, and we're going to go from there. So, yeah, I don't know who needed to hear this message today, but what I'm going to tell you is that I love you. If ain't nobody told you this week that they love you, I'm proud of you, and I want you to keep going, okay? I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to quit. I need for you to keep going, and I need for you to understand that you got people that's cheering you on, whether you know them from a can of paint or not. You got people that's really cheering you on. They want to see you win. And it's time for you to detach from those who don't want to see you win, okay? That's it. So I don't know who needed to hear my message today, but if you got something from me, I want you to know I surely got something from you. Because the room that I have gotten today, and the love that I have gotten from the room, even though y'all was dropping just comments and y'all was liking and all of that stuff, I want y'all to understand y'all did something for me as well. So I gotta thank you, and I gotta love on you for coming in here, because you could have been anywhere in the world. You could have been doing anything that you wanted to do, but you came in here and you listened and you loved on me just as well as I loved on you. All right. So I gotta thank y'all. I really appreciate it. So thank y'all for 112K today. Thank you for everybody that came in. If it's your first time, I want to say thank you for coming in and allowing us to pour into you and love on you today. Just thank you. It's I don't know how to thank you guys, but I will say that I'm appreciative of everybody that has really showed me nothing but love ever since I've been on TikTok. So over here it's nothing but love, and we have built a village over here. So I appreciate you too, my love. Thank you. We have built a village over here, and we have really, really, really built a family. It's really a blessing. Y'all don't understand. Like it has been a blessing for me to be able to come on here on TikTok and just love on people that I don't even know. And I just don't have the words. Y'all don't understand. Like, woo. I try not to get emotional because y'all know when I start crying, we all start crying. So we're not gonna get emotional today. We're gonna stay positive, and we're gonna stay thankful for each other. And thank you to my mods for holding down the room, holding down the fort. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all follow my moderators. Y'all make sure y'all follow my everybody that showed love today. Everybody that was in the comments, I really appreciate y'all. No matter how far you are, no matter if you're near, far, wherever. It has been such a great ride on TikTok, and we just, whew, it has been a journey. Seriously, I started TikTok when I was at my lowest, and y'all have seen me grow so much, and y'all just don't know, man. It has been a joyous ride. So I can't thank y'all enough. So I thank y'all, and I love y'all, and I hope y'all got something from the live today. I hope y'all got something that y'all needed today. It has been such a great live today. Who you help us along. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. So drop where you from. If you want to drop where you from, I give you a shout out. If you want to drop your small business, I give you a shout out. So drop in the comments where you from, where you are. I'm going to give everybody a shout out that drops a comment before I end my live. Y'all already know how we do. Chicago was in the room. Hawaii, I see you. California, Florida, I see you. What's up, Vicky? Nita, Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia too. What's up? Atlanta is in the building. Florida, I see you. North Carolina, Dayton, Ohio, Bay Area, California. I appreciate you. You gave me confirmation. Absolutely. Santa Barbara, California. I'm praying for California as well. Lux Chateau Designs, interior design business. All right now. Michigan, Buckeye, Ohio. I see you. Milledgeville, Georgia, Austria. Okay, that's cool. Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. Memphis. It's Issaquah. What is it called? Issaquah, Washington. NC starting a motivational speaking and catering. Okay then, motivational speaking. That's what I'm talking about. Come on with the catering business. You never know. God might use you in the ministry to cater. Cater food. And remember me, photo and decor. I got you. Palestine. You from Palestine? Oh, that's dope. South Carolina, Texas. Greenville, Mississippi, preach. Georgia, I see you. Oklahoma, I see you. Maryland, Memphis, I see you. That Austria, I think, was the farthest one. I think Austria was the farthest one we had in the room so far, y'all. Maryland, Forestville, Maryland. You a certified travel agent in a travel website in bio. Yes, ma'am. Okay, now. Detroit, Michigan, I see you. Tennessee, I see you. I just love y'all. Jamaica, I see you. Albany, New York. Woodstock, Georgia. Okay, Georgia in the house. I'm in Douglasville at the moment. Alexandria, Louisiana. Louisiana, I see you. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to pin some of these comments so y'all can see some of the business owners is in the room. Charles, say that. Is that right? Seattle, I see you. Jamaica, I see you. Lawton, Oklahoma, I see you. Why you say wow, C-Cat? 1, 2. Cleveland, Ohio, TRSG Media for video editing, social media, and events marketing. Okay. Cleveland, Ohio in the building. I see you. I'm also a life coach. We need to collab. Let me know for sure. I'm looking for people to collab. So if some of y'all have motivational speaking skills and you need somebody to kind of bring that out to you, bring that out for you, we can always collab and get on on a panel together, if y'all want to do you know, an event collaboration or something like that, please just let me know. Y'all know I will. I don't mind helping my people. I don't mind helping my people, not me. I'm gonna help y'all. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all hit me up. I would much rather for y'all hit me up on Instagram, because my messages my messages on TikTok don't accumulate, and it goes to another inbox, and I'm like, I don't be seeing some people messages until weeks or months later. So y'all, please, if you can, just please inbox me on Instagram or somewhere where I'm gonna be able to see it. I also have Facebook. If you want to hit me up on Facebook, my Facebook name, all you gotta do is type in Akira Rajane, and the same way that it's spelled here on TikTok, and you'll find me. Just always try to find another way to inbox me if you're trying to reach out to me. Because TikTok is not. I don't like TikTok. I don't like it. I don't like TikTok. But yeah, that is awesome. I need it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to start a I want to start a boot camp for people that are trying to start motivational speaking. So if you're trying to start motivational speaking, or trying to just start a ministry period, I want to start some Toastmaster classes, so where I can actually teach you some tips and some skills on how you can start to go live, how you can just get out of your shell. So I might start to do that. If some of y'all want to join, you just let me know if you're interested. I'm not going to charge y'all an arm and a leg. I'm just going to, it's going to be a charge and a fee, because I'm probably going to have to pay for a subscription somewhere. So y'all just let me know if you're interested, and we can go from there. If you're looking to start your motivational speaking, or just be a motivational speaker to where you travel or whatever, we can do that. So just let me know. All right. Yeah, that's great. I'm in. Okay, cool. So y'all just inbox me on Instagram, like I said, or Facebook if you find me on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to hit me up on YouTube. It doesn't matter. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all so much for coming into the room today. I hope each and every one of y'all got something from me, as I have gotten something from y'all. And if nobody has told you this week that they love you, I love each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I'm proud of y'all. All right. Yeah, yeah, you've been on my Facebook for a while. I see you now. What's up, babe? But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So thank y'all. And we're going to come back again maybe tomorrow. And I love y'all. Bye, y'all.